I'm here to do one thing today, Eagles Nation. One thing. And that's tell you to relax. Some of us expected this kind of start. We all should have, but some of us did. And there's way too many encouraging signs to be totally gutted like a lot of Eagles Nation feels. We're going to talk about it. I'm back, baby. Cancun's over, back in the routine, trending in the AM. We're live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Wherever you are watching from, wherever platform you are on, make sure you do me that favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, smash all those buttons. Do what you've got to do to get the word out and get as many people watching this show as possible. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, every single morning right here on Trending in the AM. And yes, I'm back, baby. Cancun's over, and I am back right here in the studio, ready to rock, ready to roll, ready to do what we do best here, and that's talk football, baseball, basketball, anything you want to talk about. That's what we do here. I got some ideas and some things to discuss today. We are going to get into all of them as soon as we can. But again, find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge if you want to follow me. My accounts are back to being sports accounts and not vacation picture accounts. So there is that, guys. We got lots to talk about. And what is up, Anthony? Good morning to you today. Hope you are well. Yes, I am back. 4 days in Cancun is not enough, but it'll have to do. Back to work today. I've been on vacation for the last 4 days, and obviously, yes, the Eagles lost in disappointing fashion on Monday night. But I see so many Eagles fans losing their shit on social media. Even though I wasn't active on social media, I was still paying attention. And I think it's very unfortunate how quickly Eagles Nation is overreacting. And some of it might be because of the disappointing end still to 2023 still ringing in their ears. Maybe it has something to do with that every Eagles fan either wanted this guy gone or that guy gone, and those guys are mostly still here. And the lack of faith and trust that they have in the team because of last year, I guess to an extent, I understand that. But some of us had expectations for this team to struggle at first as new coordinators get put into place, as we replace, legendary players that moved on, as we moved on from a lot of players, lots of new and moving parts, and a very difficult start to the schedule. Not just traveling to Brazil, but some really damn good NFC South teams coming to Philadelphia. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, this is exactly how I expected the start of the season to play out. Exactly. I said the Eagles would win in Brazil. And then I said they would come back and struggle in Atlanta or against Atlanta. And then I said they'd split the next two against the Saints and the Bucks. And then there'd be a pivot. We knew that this was not going to be an easy start to the season. There's just no way. No way that this Eagles team was going to be able to come out and just straight dominate like some people expected and wanted them to do. Throw into it, A.J. Brown being out for game 2, maybe arguably your best weapon, one of the best wide receivers in football. He'll probably be out this week as well. And it's a recipe for struggle. Add into it that you've changed defensive coordinators to Vic Fangio. You had a defense that had issues. You're losing you lost Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick. Different reasons, but you lose those two players. And you're expecting a lot of young guys to step up. Some of them have, some of them haven't yet. Some people are playing positions for the first time. Did we expect, or why did we expect so many new moving parts on defense? Just a perfect, instantly. Second one. Why did we expect that? We shouldn't have expected that. We should have understood that there were going to be some struggles to start the season. But here we are in week 2. We are 1-1. We've beaten a very good Green Bay team and lost to a very solid Atlanta team. And we're sitting here, and I page through social media, and I see the end of the world already after week 2. And it's kind of sad that is where we've gotten to so quickly this season. That shouldn't be the case. Flyers talk list. Hey, there's the Flyers. The Flyers are right around the corner, Anthony. They are. They are right there, ready to get started. At least we haven't given up on the Flyers yet this year. Welcome back, Stevie. Hey, what's up, my man? The season's over. Like, maybe I haven't been active on social media as much as normal. That's kind of what vacation's about. Taking a little break from it. Let me tell you something. The little I'm paging through Twitter, you would think the world is ending. But it's not. It's not even close. Like, I can't comprehend the why on this right now. I'm really struggling to comprehend the why Eagles Nation is collapsing and crying so much after a week 2 loss that was literally fingertips away from Saquon Barkley from being a victory. And the narrative, if the Eagles would have won in week 1, the narrative would be totally different than it is right now. All Saquon had to do was catch that ball, and things would be different at this point. And yes, I'm still reminiscing. I'm still looking back on week 2, having not done much show work this week. I still got a lot to discuss or feel from week 2 as we get set to break down week 3 today and tomorrow. What's up, Bruce Bryce Harper? How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Glad to be back. Rick, what's up? I'm usually a really optimistic, positive guy, but after that Eagles lost to Atlanta on Monday, I have no confidence in this team. They certainly are not going to be a Super Bowl contender. But why, Rick? Why? That's my question. That's the point of this show. The why. They beat a good Green Bay team. They lost to a good Atlanta team. All these new moving parts. Why? I expected a 1-1 start. I expected a 2-2 start to this season. I expected early season struggles with all these new pieces moving in and out. And I think the problem is people put unrealistic expectations on how the season would start. I said before, as soon as the schedule is released, these first 4 weeks are going to be super difficult weeks to get through because of the teams, the travel, 3 or 4 on the road, basically. I said these first 4 weeks were going to be difficult. New coaching, new players, lost veteran leadership, injured players. And here we are. It's a slow, methodical build this year to what we want and to what we expect this year. That looked like that dumpster fire of a team that was the last 7 games. But did it? I don't know. Maybe because, again, I was watching in Cancun, Rick, not here in my studio, that maybe it didn't look as bad to me. And, yes, the defense was not good last week. They could not pressure Kirk Cousins. They could not stop Bijan Robinson. They couldn't make a play, period, at the end of the game. We blame Saquon for dropping that pass. Well, then the defense, all they had to do is make one stop. They got to keep what's his name in bounds and not let him run out of bounds and stop the clock on that one pass. It's so much easier said than done. But there still were signs of growth on this team. There were still things that I want to point to that keep me thinking the opposite, the positive end of the equation, that there is growth potential on this team. I think it's a totally different than last year. I feel that was too big a risk and he should have kept it on the ground. Absolutely. I would run the ball. That's the old school traditional way. You run the clock out, you run the ball. Get it. Got it. Understood. But the way the defense played, whether they had 30 seconds or a minute and 30 seconds, they were going to score anyway, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they feel the pressure a little bit more. Who knows? But it was the right play call. The play call worked. The execution of the play didn't work. And I, again, minimal time on social media this week, but the time I have spent on social media has seen all the blame go on Jalen Hurts for the interception on the follow-up drive. Jalen Hurts led the drive to seal the game. The defense blew it. And then he had to do it again, and that's when he created the turnover. And again, bad turnover that Jalen Hurts cannot make. He cannot throw that ball when you got guys in the flat that you could check down to. The hero ball was kept under wraps for 59 and a half minutes of the game. And he made that mistake. I get it. But again, if other people execute their job beforehand, he's not put in that position. And you went 9-7. I wrote it down here. I had a bad week. I went 7-9 this week. So that would put me, I'm at 15-16-1. So mediocre and average, Steve. I won't lie. I kind of wung through my picks as I was getting ready for vacation. I really didn't think hard about them. Still, we are a top. I still agree we're a top team, Bruce. I do. There's a lot of positivity to take from this team. Now, what does this team need to do? There's a lot this team needs to do to get to that top level. There's a lot they can do. They're going to have to make adjustments on certain players they use or don't use, on snap counts for certain players. There's things that need to be done for sure. Phil, I feel our number one issue right now is that we're not getting enough pressure on the opposing. There's no feeling about it. It's the case. And it's not going to get any better in week 2. Got these stats from Deebs, from EOP. Derek Carr's been blitzed on 43% of his dropbacks this year. He's only been pressured on 19% of them because he averages 46% of the time he drops back, 2.5 seconds or less to get rid of the ball. So don't expect 5 sacks on Derek Carr this week. That's just not what happens. But you had Jelix Hunt, who was a standout in camp, hasn't seen the field yet. Devin White, who can be moved to the outside, or you can play him on the inside and move Zach Bond to the outside. Still hasn't played a snap for the Eagles. Cooper DeJean's snaps went from 6 to 1 from week 1 to week 2, when instead of them going down, they should be going up. Ojomo and Booker, not prototypical size-wise defensive tackles for the Eagles with their system, but getting better pressure or get better penetration than what Davis and Carter have been doing. You're playing. You're going to burn Jalen Carter out by week 6 with the amount you are playing him already in week 1 and week 2. There's got to be a better balance and a different little rotation of players that we use at this point. Vic T last year was one of the worst through 7 weeks, and then the top 10 the rest of the year. These guys are learning new ways of doing things, Anthony. Now, yeah, Bryce Huff's got to be better. Bryce Huff's been non-existent. Yes, Nolan Smith hasn't done anything. Can't be relying on Brandon Graham to be one of your best guys at this point. Well, where's the adjustments from Vic Fangio? Where are they? I mean, I got the stats. I knew somebody was going to comment Vic Fangio. Last year, their defense in total yards was 30th ranked in the NFL. He's got a lot of years where his defense isn't elite. Some years it's really, really good, and some years his defenses are really, really bad. And it hasn't been bad. It just hasn't been good. It's kind of been like confusing. Certain guys standing out, but they're not getting the minutes. Certain guys aren't performing up. Certain guys aren't ready or used to their roles or system yet. A horrendous defense, subpar coaching staff, and a quarterback with average arm talent and below average football IQ. I don't know how anybody can find room to criticize Jalen Hurts at this point. Jalen Hurts has been outside of 3 interceptions, pretty damn phenomenal this year through 2 weeks. He's better against the blitz than ever before. He's hanging in the pocket better than normal. He's reading the defense. He's going through his checkdowns. He's running with authority last week when he had to scramble. Yes, all he's got to do, he's got one more obstacle to overcome in his career, and that's learning not to play hero ball. And that's it. That's the only thing he's got left to figure out at this point. What's this next one here? Cousins can barely move, and he apparently without pressure most of the game. And that's why I feel we need to improve that area of the game. Absolutely. We absolutely need to improve getting after the quarterback. But how? Who? Where? Why? When? Obviously we made a $51 mistake, it seems like, in Bryce Huff. Non-existent. But again, Hassan Reddick was really bad the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the last 2 years here in Philly. So maybe he just needs some time to get going. I don't know. But I questioned the Bryce Huff signing immediately this offseason. People thought I was nuts. We'll find out. I mean, going up against Derek Carr is not going to make it any easier going forward here. How he needs to work the phones to find pass rusher edge. Yeah. Or maybe Jalen Hunt, Devin White, Zach Bond, one of those three or all three of those three are the answer to get after the quarterback. Phil, did you see Kimbrel's? Yeah, I did. I don't want him back. No. I mean, Estevez should not be the closer on the Phillies. It still should be Jeff Hoffman. And maybe eventually Jose Alvarado again. Seems like he's settling down. But yeah, I saw Kimbrel. I mean, he's pretty much stunk lately for the Baltimore Orioles. I hope we don't sign. We're not going to sign him. Trust me, we're not going to sign him. I have a thread to pull on there eventually, Bruce, about all the relief pitchers we brought in at deadlines or at the end of their career over the last couple of years, and how David Robinson's got hurt and bombed the second time. Kimbrel, Estevez. Like, it seems like every guy we bring into the bullpen to solidify the bullpen are the worst of the worst. They never quit. It's the curse of the Phillies bullpen, I kind of feel like. They didn't blitz a statuesque like quarterback coming off an injury, and they didn't take the automatic 3 points. Take the damn points, especially on your opening drive. Bad coaching. Yeah, look. Again, when it works, we praise Nick Sirianni for his aggressiveness. When it doesn't work, we criticize him for his aggressiveness. Kellen Moore's play calling wasn't perfect. Vic Fangio's play calling was obviously not good. Something's got to give. Blame week 2 picks. Yeah, I'm definitely blaming my week 2 picks on that. It was nice not to be stressed about a whole bunch of bets, though. I'll get back to betting this week and stuff, but I hope you had a wonderful vacation. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I did. Little dragon today. 4 days of unlimited drinking like that. I tried to act like a 22-year-old again this week. And look, if anybody's watching from Cancun, I made a lot of great friends down there. I'm still hurting. Still hurting right now. This Eagles team is incomplete and incompetent. I can say incomplete. I don't know about incompetent. Not sure if I'll go that far, Rick. I will definitely say incomplete, though, for sure. They need to play White. He is an excellent pass rusher still. That's what everyone keeps telling me. I'm not sure if he is or not still. But people keep saying that on social media. So the fact he hasn't played 2 weeks in a row, and this is a problem. They haven't dressed Jalen Hunt yet, have they? Either. Cooper DeJean snaps. There's a lot of moving parts that aren't moving, that are just staying still and not being utilized. Leading up to last week's game, all I heard how Cooper DeJean was getting better. And he was stringing together great practices, I think the words Nick Sirianni used. And he played 1 snap. His snap count didn't go up, it went down. So make that one make sense to me, because I can't. Eagles defense will give up over 40 points to New Orleans this weekend. They're going to be 1-2 after Sunday and probably 1-3. There was a strong possibility that happened. I picked them 2-2. I said win, loss, win, loss. That's how I had the season to predict it to start through 4 weeks. WLWL. Now, I didn't think the Saints would be as good as they are. Derek Carr's a weird quarterback to me. He's had a few seasons where he has just straight balled out, and other seasons that he's been just a total dumpster fire. Alvin Kamara looks like he's 26 or 24 again, running like crazy, catching the ball out of the backfield. Saints have a strong defense that creates a lot of turnovers. It's going to be a tough game on Sunday. I don't even know what I don't have it up on my screen. I don't even know what the line is at this point. I haven't logged into DraftKings in like 7 days. But again, if they lose on Sunday, it's not the end of the world. This is going to be a long, grinding season with a much easier back end of the season than start to the season. This is going to be a season where you struggle out of the gate. And as you get your footing, the easier games start to happen. Eagles defense bottom 3. The Eagles defense is so much more of an issue than the offense. Every player on that defense is so much more of an issue than Jalen Hurts. Every coach on that defense is a bigger issue than Nick Sirianni or Kellen Moore. What up, Eric? How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Yes, I'm back, baby. Hurts needs 15 yards on the end of the game to get in Elliott's field goal range to win the game, and threw a bonehead interception. Yeah, but the drive before, he led them down the field, and a simple toss to Saquon Barkley got dropped. And if Saquon Barkley doesn't drop that, then the interception never happens. It's a series of things that just domino affect it out of control. If the defense makes one stop, I think it was Quinyon Mitchell. If Quinyon Mitchell doesn't let that receiver get out of bounds, there's like 9 different things that happened in not even a 5-minute span, not a 5-game minute span, 5 minutes of our life that happened that led to that interception. And yes, he shouldn't have thrown that. There was still enough time left on the clock for him to throw that away and still get it done. I'm not excusing Jalen Hurts' interception, but putting the blame on Jalen Hurts for the game, to me, is not necessary. Everyone's complaining about Fletcher Cox's defense. We're missing Fletcher Cox. We're not missing Jason Kelce. I saw somebody say, I think I got these from Shane Haff. Cam Jurgens has given up 2 total pressures this year so far. No sacks. Nobody's gotten within the quarterback from him in less than 2.5 seconds. He has been pretty damn good as the center taking over for Kelce so far. If anything, he's playing better. It's small sample size of 2 games, but Jurgens is playing better than he did at right guard last year. That interior of Dickerson, Jurgens, and Becton has been fantastic in the run game and okay in the pass game, getting better. You're right about Hurts, as he has been great. I feel there will always be haters. Look, I don't want to say I don't want it to sound like I'm just this hype guy for Jalen Hurts. He's got to make better decisions. No doubt about it. But I'm not ready after 2 games to pack it in on this season. Hell no. It's a long trip. It's a long journey we got here in front of us. Why is Hurts still running so much? Called runs, scrambles, push play. They all add up. Yeah, I don't want Jalen Hurts running 13, 14 times a game. Good morning to you, Barbara. I don't want that. No one should want that. But I do like that when he ran on Monday night, he ran with conviction. He ran effectively. He ran with a little burst in athleticism. It seemed to be more effective running on Monday night than it did. So there was some positives to it, in my opinion. Freddie Drick did a great job yesterday. Did he? I hope he did well. I didn't get to get. I was traveling yesterday. The airport in Cancun, the worst cell phone and Wi-Fi reception in the world. Didn't do anything yesterday, but sit in the airport for 2 hours waiting for my flight. 4 hours on a plane watching one terrible movie and one okay movie. That's it. That's what I did yesterday. I came home, cleaned up the dog messes, and right to bed. Right here for this morning. Ready to go. Travel days are the worst, Eric. My flight wasn't until 1 o'clock. I was leaving the hotel at 9:30 in the morning yesterday. Up at 8. Fly home. Get up at 8. Didn't walk in my door till 8 p.m. It's exhausting travel days. There was no difference in Moore's play calling from last year. Yeah, look, Kellen Moore's been okay. He's done things to help Jalen Hurts against the blitz. He's done things to help Jalen Hurts, manage a game a little bit better at times. We've had 10 scoring drives in 2 weeks, the Eagles. Some very long, effective scoring drives. I still can't fathom why and how Dallas Goedert has not been getting more targets so far in this offense. Phillies have to go 9-1 to make 100 wins. That's our consolation prize. I put it in the description, something to talk about, like confidence meter on the Phillies as we're getting set for the playoffs here. I have no expectations for the Phillies. 16 strikeouts last night. Everybody but Kyle Schwarber struck out at least once. 5 guys struck out like 2 or more times in that game. My confidence meter ain't there. Poor Aaron Nola getting criticized nonstop, and rightfully so. Yet goes out there and throws a gem last night. And between the offense and Carlos Estevez, not even close. Not even close. Get ready for a 7 or 8 win season. Witnessing the beginning of the end of Sirianni era. Look, I'm gonna disagree with you on it. I am, Rick. I don't see how this team only wins 7 games. And I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I don't see it. I see this team getting it together. There's too much talent on this team to win. Even if Sirianni is a bad coach, there's too much talent for them not to win 9 or 10 games. At least I got 11 wins on my prediction. The NFL is so mediocre this year. So mediocre. That 11 wins, I don't even think, I think somebody questioned me when I did my record prediction for every team in the NFL earlier in the offseason. And I didn't have a single 13-win team in the NFL this year. I had one 12-win team, the Chiefs, and the Chiefs don't even look that good this year. They win despite what they do. Gabe Kapler won 107 games ago, a couple years ago. Oh, great. Why did Kellen call a 20-yard pass to Devontae when they only needed a 10-yard field goal? Yeah, call it on that. Why even put Hurts in that position to make that throw? Call a play where none of your wide receivers are going 20, 30, 40 yards down the field. Maybe Kellen Moore is that's a great point there, Anthony. Maybe Kellen Moore's to blame a little bit here. I still can't comprehend how Dallas Goedert isn't, like, all we heard about Kellen Moore tight ends, and screen or curl routes. We haven't seen many curl routes, but that's all we keep hearing about. You're without A.J. Brown, again, arguably one of the 5 best wide receivers in football. And what do you have? 3 catches? 4 catches? Makes no sense to me. When Britton Covey is touching the ball more than Dallas Goedert, to me, that's a concern. That's weird. That doesn't seem right. Doesn't sit right with me. Jonathan Dotson, I know he's only been here like 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. You're without A.J. Brown, and Jonathan Dotson had 1 catch. What is going on with the offense? What is going on with the play design? What is going on with the play calling? Eagles are not a playoff team this year. Somebody's got to make the playoffs from the NFC East. The Cowboys don't look any special. Cowboys fans aren't, well, they might be freaking out after losing to New Orleans. You think they're going to lose to New Orleans, the Eagles? Cowboys did too. Detroit lost. The 49ers, I don't know, but are 49ers fans? Is Gammon watching right now, my man? Are 49ers fans jumping off the bridge because they lost to the Minnesota Vikings? I doubt it. This year is a year that is going to be ugly to start, but will turn a corner at one point. Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Joe. Vacation was relaxing. We had a very nice, I've never done just a short 4-day trip like that, far away. I've done like going to the mountains for a couple days or the beach, down the way a little bit for a day or two. I've never flown 4 hours for 4 days, but so that was a little short trip, but it was a fun trip. We met some really great people, some great couples. Some of them might start chiming in sometime. They're still all on vacation. I got a lot of new subscribers thanks to them. So, and new friends. Good old Gabe. He's a Chippendales dancer. Yeah. Wasn't he like to eat the cartilage off of chicken wings or something that was supposed to be healthy? That just rings a bell. Mets won 101 2 years ago. Well, the Phillies ain't. They're not going to get to 100 wins. I don't even remember what I predicted. I think I predicted 94 wins this year. I don't even know. No, but I have no confidence in them. I mean, I'm trying not to talk Phillies because Phillies fans think I'm way overly negative, and I try to be positive with the Eagles, and I get criticized for being positive. Like, do you want me to be positive or do you want me to be negative? I don't know. But the Phillies are the most underwhelming best team in baseball I've ever seen. And I just don't know what to expect because of it. No, I have yeah, we have a dog sitter. She's just, I mean, the dogs just get a little out of control when they see us for the first time after days gone, and she doesn't necessarily. I've got a lot of old dogs. They make messes, and I don't think she cleaned up the messes they made yesterday. It's some messes to clean up. That's it, and calm them down now that they see us again. They all freak out and do cartwheels and whatnot, throw out their hips because they're all old. It's Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles, nothing less. See, I didn't put that kind of expectation for the Eagles, Barbara. It always is Super Bowl or bust to an extent, but how do I say this? It's it depended on how the playoffs lined up for me. So I thought there were 3 teams that could make the Super Bowl: the Eagles, the 49ers, the Lions. You might have to add the Saints into that as well. Depends on when you play those teams, what your expectations for the playoffs should be. So making to the playoffs is an expectation. Winning the division is an expectation. Getting to the second round is an expectation. But after that, it depends on matchups and stuff like that. And health. How many games does Sirianni have till? I do not want Bill Belichick, guys. Bill Belichick would be such a bad decision. The football's passed him by. Just let him go out the pasture. Now, I know how. I don't even think it's Howie. I think that's more of a Jeffrey Lurie thing. Loves the Patriots way. But there's no need to go that route. I would much rather keep Sirianni than move on to Bill Belichick. Maybe Goddard is Barbara, do you follow me on Twitter? I put that. I didn't use the word overrated. I forget how I phrased it, but I basically said that on Twitter, and I got a shitstorm that it wasn't his fault. That it's everybody else's fault than Dallas Goedert. He is great. It's Kellen Moore's fault. It's Jalen Hurts' fault. It's A.J. Brown's fault. I put that out there in a very, politically, how politicians don't ever say one thing or the other. Put it out a very politically, kind of way. And I just got destroyed for it. So, yeah. Where you been? Do you not pay attention? I was in Mexico for 4 or 5 days. Well, 4 nights, 5 days. I did 2 shows from Mexico. They were just later in the day because I wasn't waking my ass up this early. You left us with that Bill Burr impersonator. Is that what he is? You don't like Matty B. You don't like Freddie Burns. Everybody that fills in, you don't like. It just goes to show you need me. You guys need me. Cheering from the other, cheering from the other side. Obviously, Falcons' strength is their O-line. Run blocking the D-line looked terrific. A few sacks, but Bijan gashed that D-line, and Kirk was moving in second half. Yeah, look, I am more concerned. Here's a question for Eagles fans, and Joe, being a Falcons fan, is giving it the other side. What is more a defensive concern for you? Is it our lack of pass rush or that our run defense has given up now 2 big games in 2 weeks? To me, the run defense is more scary. The fact that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are playing too much, that Ajomo and Booker aren't being utilized. To me, that's a concern. Nothing will seem right with Hurts at quarterback. Well, hey, like I said, Jalen Hurts has played really great this year. He's made 3 bad throws in 2 games. And yes, some of them have come at very inopportune times. But all of Jalen Hurts' numbers are significantly better against the blitz, in the pocket, all those things, than they were last year. Jalen Hurts has improved. He is running with more conviction when he runs. Just the way I see it. Better hope the Phillies win a World Series this year, as they are the only Philly team with a chance to win big in the next 5 years. Eagles are dumpster fire. I don't know. My confidence, Rick, on those Phillies are not, like I said, the most underwhelming number one team in baseball of all time, in my opinion. Belichick will be the next Giants head coach. Good. Let him fix the Daniel Jones problem. Good luck with that. I will not root for a team with Belichick as head coach. I despise that, man. Well, I root for the team, not the players or coaches on the team, Anthony. But I just don't see it with him. I just don't. Lori would get on his knees for Belichick. Yeah, he probably would. He'd get the little scrunchie out. He'd pull his hair back, get on his knee. You know what I'm saying. Pass rush is more concerning to Quinyon. See, I think the pass rush can get there eventually. I do. I think they also made some critical decision errors in building the pass rush. The run defense has been built on paper to be pretty damn elite. I had question marks on the pass rush entering the season, and that's coming true. The run defense I had zero thought of being an issue. Let me tell you something. The way the run defense played last week, the last 2 weeks, Alvin Kamara is having a hell of a rejuvenation season. Alvin Kamara is going to tear us apart on Sunday if the run defense doesn't shape up. Lori and Howie are the problems. They have certain ways they want to play, regardless of personnel. I agree with that. Look, Howie Roseman is still an excellent executive and an excellent GM. A load of teams would beg to have Howie Roseman, but he does make critical flaws every offseason, critical mistakes. And look, I don't want to bring it up, but I don't get too into this as much, and he'll never show up in the stat sheet, Jordan Davis. But when you look at our defense and you see what Kyle Hamilton does and what Jordan Davis does, it's a critical error. It's a critical error. Not dressing Alex Hunt, giving, Bryce Huff that big contract, critical errors. Kyle Pitts is man, that's why you just don't take tight ends in the first round. That's why you don't take top 10 tight ends in the NFL draft. They can never live up to those standards. Cousins had all night sitting back there. He absolutely did. He did. And I still cannot understand K1. I don't even know if Alex Hunt hasn't played a snap yet. I know he was inactive week 1. I didn't even look at who was inactive and active this past week. I didn't even turn my phone on until the game started, basically. So I don't even know if he dressed or not. But why not try him? Who you got ain't working. So why don't you try somebody else? Why isn't a Jomo or Booker out there a little bit more? Devin White supposedly can get after the quarterback. Zach Bond supposedly can get after the quarterback. The personnel decisions are as bad as the play calling on the defense. How did the Steelers easily beat the Falcons in Atlanta, then the Falcons came to Philly? It's a very excellent question. Now this is why I love this show. This is an interesting question. Because I don't know if the Steelers are a good team. Steelers still have a great defense. I feel like they'll have a great defense for the rest of eternity. But the Falcons didn't score one touchdown. Am I right or wrong in saying that the Falcons didn't score a touchdown in week 1? It was all field goals against the Steelers. And they marched right down the field on our defense in 30 seconds to score the game-winning touchdown. And let me get on a side note here. I got criticized for this massively on Twitter after the game. And again, I haven't been live since, I was live for 30 minutes on Tuesday morning, just whatever, spitballing with you guys, the few of you that were there. Darius Slay after the game, going up to Drake London. I think it was Drake London. High five him, good rap, bro. Yeah, laughing, goofing around. I know afterwards he took responsibility for it. But something about Darius Slay's video post-game, being all chummy with the guy that just smoked you to score the winning touchdown, doesn't sit right. That's not how I was taught. I was taught professionalism, gamesmanship, and all that kind of stuff. But when I lose a game, good game. Well done, guys. I wasn't taught to be like best buddies with the guy that just whooped my ass. Don't let that get caught on camera. That video of Darius Slay sat with me so poorly for the last couple days, and it still does. That was unsatisfactory. Yeah. I have so many, like Jalen Hurts' 3 interceptions, not ideal, but I will take Jalen Hurts throwing 1 or 2 interceptions every game, as long as the offense plays the way. There's the first VCP of the day. Every day, with the way the offense looks. All we need from the defense, we need an average defensive performance. If we have an average defensive performance, this team is 2-0 right now. But the defense is the problem. Darius Slay getting cooked. Quinyon Mitchell last week showed some of his rookiness. Got beat a few times. Vic Fangio. What were the defensive backs on that last drive playing 15 yards off the line every single time? Giving up the sideline when the offense has 0 timeouts. It's like 101. You not press, but you don't play 15 yards off, and you don't let guys get out of bounds to stop the clock. Criticism there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had that big hit on 4th down. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got beat like 4 or 5 times in week 1. He missed multiple. I think I read that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson leads the NFL through 2 weeks in missed tackles. The defense is 100% more of a problem than the offense. I still think the run defense is a bigger problem than the pass defense. I think the pass defense will get there. Pass rush, TJ Watt was causing havoc in that game. You got to get after him. We couldn't do it. TJ Watt is why the Steelers won. I mean, I don't have to fact check that. It just sounds like that's accurate pretty much. The lack of pass rush is made worse by cornerbacks playing off. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I warned everyone, Jack. I warned everyone when Vic Fangio got signed here. Everybody got all hyped up. And even I bought into a little bit in the camp because you hear Vic Fangio talking. He's a man's man. He's a Philly guy. He's got that attitude that we love, that personality that we love. But I warned everybody. If you hate it, Sean Desai and Jonathan Gannon's defensive system and schemes, you're going to absolutely hate Vic Fangio. Everyone thought, getting the creator of the defense was better than having a pupil of the defense. No, you're just going to get a more glorified version of what we already hated. A more amped up version of what we already hated. Vic Fangio doesn't blitz. Vic Fangio hopes his front 4 get pressure. When your front 4 can't get pressure, your defense. Why do you think our cornerbacks, Darius Slay and James Bradbury, got big contracts after 2022? Because the defensive line had 70 sacks and got after the quarterback. Made them look better back there than they were. When you can't get pressure on the quarterback, your cornerbacks get exposed. And also, on top of the fact that they play off and on top of the fact that they get beat sometimes, the NFL is geared to not let the defense or officiating the NFL is geared to make it easier for the wide receivers than the cornerbacks, obviously. Yeah, Avonte Maddox he was so bad in week 1. Why weren't we doing something different in week 2? And I don't know what the snap counts were. It's the final number, but I'm pretty sure Maddox was out there a lot in week 2. That makes 0 sense to me. We have a problem. So let's double down and keep pushing that problem even further. Neat vision. I see you. And this is something came on. I just at the beginning of the show. Week 1, he played 6 snaps, I believe it was. 6 or 7. We heard that throughout practice last week. Every day, Cooper DeJean was stringing together great practice. It was getting better. And his snap count did not go up. It went down. If I remember correctly, I read he played 1 snap on defense in week 2. But Avonte Maddox played how many? Just saying. Now, I'm not saying Cooper DeJean's the answer. But I'm willing to find out if he is. I'm willing to let him take his lumps and learn over what they put out there in Avonte Maddox. No pass rush, just like TMC said. You can't win without pass rush. You can't. AJ getting hurt fantasy-wise. That's something, man. Something. And he's going to be out again this week, it seems like, AJ Brown. Maybe next week. Said 2 or 3 weeks he was going to miss. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Big problem. But you know what's not a problem? If you need tickets to a sporting event, concert, or theater, You go to this place called sherrytickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. They have the best prices, no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. And check this out, if you use promo code EOP10 at checkout, it gets you an additional 10% off. So why would you overpay with the rest? Save with the best. Sherrytickets.com, promo code EOP10. Back on with my great ad read work. Gannon is way greater than Fangio. Look, I said it on not well received, but I said it that Jonathan Gannon was a better defensive coordinator than people realize. Just like Jim Schwartz was better than we gave him credit for. We hate them when they're here, but when they're gone, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a slot cornerback trying to be a safety. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's weird to me. He's a boomer bust player. He makes big plays and big mistakes. He's an energetic guy, so he's got all that passion that we love in Philly. But we also hate that passion when it overtakes things. I asked when we brought him back, was it the right decision? Everyone told me, absolutely, it's the right decision. I said, I don't know. Nolan the bust Smith. Look, some people have been saying Nolan Smith's a bust for a while. I have not. Who's more concerning to you? Nolan Smith or Bryce Huff? Because Nolan Smith was a first-round pick that we invested in. But Bryce Huff, we invested $50 million in. And not one of them. They're both being outplayed by 36-year-old Brandon Graham, who's on his retirement tour. That's no bueno. If I'm in charge, I'm dressing Jalex Hunt on Sunday. And I'm giving him a couple plays to see what he's got. Now there is a segue excellence we have missed. Yes, exactly. No one segues like me. Cherry Baby. Cherry Baby. That's a great song. Phil's thoughts on the second drive going for on fourth down instead of electing to kick the field goal. I don't know. Some people say the stats say to go for it there. Some say kick the field goal. Me, I hate leaving points on the field. So I'm always a very old school way of you kick the field goal, you take the points, etc. That's me. But I understand the analytics, too, are a part of it. There were so many things that went wrong, and we still had a chance to win. All Saquon Barkley's got to do is catch the damn ball. That's it. Again, the narrative this week in Philadelphia is so much different if Saquon Barkley just catches the ball. Whether it was the right play call or not, the play was there. It was executed poorly by Saquon Barkley. And I've seen too much criticism of Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni than Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley needs to be called out for what it is. I saw somebody, and I didn't fact check it, again, vacation. I saw somebody post that Saquon Barkley led the league in drops from running backs last year. And I don't know if that's true or not. But somebody put that out there. And it's making me think maybe that's one of his weaknesses in his game. I will say that the Eagles have been very efficient with Saquon Barkley back there and running the ball overall. And the offensive line has performed fantastic considering you lost a Hall of Famer. And you got a guy playing right guard for the first time. What the Watt family's going to have multiple people in the Hall of Fame, right? We're going to have multiple Watts in the Hall of Fame someday. TJ and JJ. Yeah, exactly. Isn't there a third Watt out there too? Probably not as good, but you know. If you watch the Eagles regularly, you know that they go for it on fourth a lot. Doug Peterson did it too. Absolutely. It's the aggressive new age style of doing things. It is. Doug Peterson might not last long in Jacksonville. I'm just going to say that. Not much longer in Jacksonville for Dougie P. Just going to throw that out there. Buffalo Bills quarterback don't need to do nothing with James Cook. He's been cooking. Yes, he has. My head. Oh, my God, Mitchie Poo. So for those that didn't watch on Tuesday, I mentioned it Tuesday's show. I mentioned it in the comments of the Eagles post-game show. After the game, I drank a lot on Monday. All day poolside. Then big time at the game, during the game. I might have been slightly intoxicated on Monday night. And I was in the bathroom and I got a little dizzy and I stumbled and I banged my head on the door handle and literally it started gushing blood. Literally grabbed one of the shower towels, put it on my head. That towel is red as can be now. It was a white towel and it's red as can be. There's a big gash on my head still. It's healed up. It's sealed up. It's still tender. It's still healing. It's scabbing up there, Mitchy Poo. Let me tell you something. I was this close to thinking I needed stitches in a Mexican hospital. I didn't want that. Didn't want that experience on my bingo card checked off. So yeah, I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm still a little hungover, and I haven't had a drink in over 24 hours. That's how bad I drank on Monday and Tuesday. I got back yesterday night. Flew in last night. So I was in Mexico flew out Saturday morning, flew back last night. Smith, more concerning, has never done anything. Yeah, so Smith hasn't done anything ever. Bryce Huff's only had one good year out of 4. So probably more concerning on Smith, but financially you are stuck with Bryce Huff for at least this year and next year as well, though. That Monday night video on Twitter after the loss was legendary stuff. I was cracking up. Yeah, I was walking back to my room doing a live video in the lobby and all. And then right after that video, I backed. That was tough. It was tough. Tough for the ego to fall and bust my head open like that. Eagles don't have any Hall of Famers on defense. Quinyon Mitchell, baby. Maybe in 20 years, but Quinyon Mitchell, baby. You don't get stitches in your head. They use staples. Trust me, I know. Oh, okay. Dude, let me tell you something. It's about half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch long, the gash on my head, and it bled. And I guess drinking all that alcohol all day long did not help the clotting of it up and stuff like that. And your blood a little thinner in those points. So, yeah. Mental errors always get more criticism. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Maybe it shouldn't be true, but it is true. You know who there is no criticism on? PhillySportsTrips.com. If you want to go travel to see the Eagles, as frustrating as they may be, go to PhillySportsTrips.com, sign up, mention EOP and Training the AM when you do that, and let them take you on vacation. Whether it's to tailgate or go away to follow your favorite sports team, PhillySportsTrips.com. They are the best. In a couple weeks, they're going to have everybody down in Tampa. Obviously, they got the trip up to New York to see the Eagles take on the Giants for Saquon's return home. Bus trip to Baltimore. Don't forget about that one in December. And, of course, takeover at Dallas, November 10th. Where we're going to march into Dallas, whoop up some Cowboy ass, and then go. Guys, and also, obviously, they also have great packages to do spring training with the Phillies in 2025. If you've never been to spring training, you got to check it out. It's an amazing trip to go to spring training to watch the Phillies. The stadium down there, I don't know what it's called now. They keep changing the name with sponsors. But it's an amazing stadium, an amazing place to watch a baseball game. Check them out, guys. PhillySportsTrips.com. You probably needed a few staples. I probably did. But I'm good. O-line this year will be way better. Upgrades at right guard and center. They won't may be better or will be better. They are better. And I said it at the beginning of the show. I mean, Cam Jurgens playing center for the first time in the NFL. There have been 75 pass plays. He's given up 2 pressures total and 0 sacks. And neither of those 2 pressures were quick pressures. They were over 2.5 seconds long before the pressure got to Jalen Hurts. So Cam Jurgens is playing great at center so far. As good, if not better, than I expected. Mekhi Becton performed better than I expected so far. Right here. Right above my forehead. If I had a 5 head, it would be right there on the 5 head. I haven't really ranted per se. I've kind of bitched and moaned about the Phillies, Mitchy Poo, but that's about it. Like I don't know what to say about the Phillies. I really don't. I'm the kind of person that at this point pretty much feels that the Phillies are the most underwhelming best team in baseball I have ever seen in my life. They're a great team on paper. They have the best record in baseball. That's what every time you say anything negative about the Phillies, you're told, but they're the best team in baseball. They do not play like the best team in baseball. They just don't. They just don't. And that's a shame. It gushed there. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like faucet gushing, but it was pouring. It's all over my head, all over my hands, all over the wall of the bathroom. A lot of work to do to clean that mess up. I'm surprised I didn't get like an extra charge on my room bill for blood stains. I'm surprised. I really, really, truly. That's right. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe and follow and share button wherever you're watching. Unfortunately, we're not on Facebook. I don't know what happened with Facebook. It wouldn't connect for the show for me. I don't know. That's twice now this week that the show hasn't connected on Facebook. I'll have to do some investment mitigations on that one there. So, guys, do me that favor. Get this word out. Get this show out. Tell one, tell all. This is the place to go. As we start thinking forward here, what do we want? What do we need? We'll get the keys to victory or keys for the game, because we can't say keys to victory, tomorrow for the Eagles-Saints game. We'll do more predictions. In a little bit, we'll get to the New England Patriots-Jets prediction for tonight. The Phillies did not lock up the playoff berth last night. What do we want to see changed in week 3 from what we've seen in week 1 and 2? To me, it's player personnel on defense is what needs to be changed. We need DeJean out there. We need to try Hunt and White out there. We need to move on from Maddox out there so much. We need to balance out the snaps of Davis, Carter, Williams, Ajomo, and Booker, all 5 of them. Yeah, Jalen Carter should play the most snaps out of everybody, but he shouldn't be playing that drastically more than everybody. Fletcher Cox, when he was at his best as an Eagles defensive tackle, when he was an all-pro year in, year out, do you realize he was only playing like 60, 65% of snaps? Because when you got those big boys, you can't run them nonstop. I forget what the number was yesterday or this week for Carter, but it was high. I know week 1 it was 75, and I said that was too much. I think it went up percentage-wise in week 2. You can't burn these guys out. So at the end of the game, they're already getting next to no pressure. By the end of the game, the guys they're using are burned the hell out. So you got to have a better rotation on that defensive line. You got to use Cooper DeJean, maybe Hunt, maybe Devin White. I'll be curious with how bad it is and how the negative energy that's flowing. I'll be really curious on who's the active and inactive in week 3. I'd be shocked if at least White or Hunt weren't active in week 3. And I don't know who you flip-flop with that, but Phillies hitting is just too spotty. And their pitching is too, to an extent. Their starters are to an extent. Carlos Estevez shouldn't be the closer, but he is. They're just underwhelming. I think it's the easiest or the best way I've described my feelings towards the Phillies. They're underwhelming for the best team. I think they still have the best team in record in baseball right now. I should have zero doubt about this team entering the playoffs because of their record. It's just like with the Eagles. Eagles are 1-1. The record doesn't tell you the whole story. They actually played better than the record says a little bit. The Phillies record tells you they're the best team in baseball, but it tells a different story when you watch the games. And what I watched and saw and see, and I watched about 3 or 4 innings of the game last night after I got home. I just see an underwhelming team. You don't strike out 16 times in a game when you're trying to clinch the playoff berth. You just don't. Aaron Nola gets criticized. Goes out there and pitches a gem. And the Phillies got 4 hits last night. 1 run. That was it. The Phillies are the best or the worst best team in baseball I've ever seen. It's kind of like the Atlanta Braves, and I've been saying this for a while now. The Atlanta Braves have had the best record in baseball. How many years in a row? And then underwhelmed in the playoffs because they didn't really have those defining moments. The mojo isn't there. The juice isn't there. Oh, look at you. Back to your old tricks, trying to jump the gun. No. No. That's not what we do here. I choose when the segues hit. You do not get to choose when the segues hit, my man. That's just not the way it works. But anyway, I want to see Hurts spread the ball to the tight end and wide receiver 3. Been saying it's all week. Why is Dallas Goedert not more involved in the game plan? Is Dallas Goedert overrated? I said it on social media. Barb said it on the show. Is Dallas Goedert overrated? He's often injured. I don't think he's ever hit 800 yards in a season. He's got talent. He's athletic. But does he really, really do anything special? He hasn't in the last 2 years, 3 years. Well, okay. All right. So the Dodgers and the Braves. How about Barb? The Braves haven't had the best record. Maybe they've won the division the last couple of years, and they ran away with the division the last couple of years. Kind of like the Phillies are running away with the division here. But we're up 8 with 9 or 10 games to play. The Dodgers and Braves have disappointed in the playoffs the last couple years. I mean, the Dodgers have disappointed in the playoffs for forever, basically. Goddard is open. Hurts just isn't finding him. Are we sure about that, K1? I'm asking, are we sure about that? I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Not 100% sure that is true, K1. I would have to go back and watch real game footage, or maybe I'll try to pay attention. Whenever I go into an Eagles game, there's always 1 or 2 guys that my eyes are always locking in on. I'm going to try to lock my eyes on Goddard a little bit more frequently on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. I don't know if that's the case or not. I do know that Grant Calcaterra ain't it either. Supposed to see the ball spread around on this offense, especially with A.J. Brown out. I think I have the box score from the game up here somewhere. Let me see this here. Dallas, obviously, Smith had 10 targets, dominated that. Britton Covey had 6 targets. You threw the ball to Dallas Goedert 4 times. Saquon Barkley 5 times. Calcaterra twice. Dotson had 1 target, and he caught it for one catch, 6 yards. And Johnny Wilson got a target. They didn't spread the ball around at all. They didn't get anybody involved in the offense. And that's okay to an extent because we did run the ball so effectively, over 5 yards a carry. You obviously are pounding that football with Saquon, play in and play out, and effectively doing it. So there's only so many snaps and touches to go around. But the thing is, if you spread around, I also kind of felt like it, and maybe this was just because I was watching at a bar in Cancun and not in my normal setting. I felt like the pre-snap motion kind of took a little step down in week 2 than week 1. We were all hyped about how much pre-snap motion was used in week 1. It felt like it was a step down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Somehow you got to figure it out. Tight ends are always open. Every star thinks they're open on every play. I don't know if Dallas Goedert's been open every play. But maybe I'm just not seeing it. See, and this is the thing. I put out maybe slightly a feeler. And see, Barb, I brought this up. You brought it up, and I mentioned how I brought it up on social media. And as soon as I said even the slightest inkling, and you said here today, the slightest inkling, anything negative about Dallas Goedert, all of a sudden everybody, no, not Dallas Goedert's fault. It's got to be Jalen Hurts' fault. And it might be. But maybe not. I saw somebody talking about the separation that our receivers and tight ends get compared to the rest of the NFL through 2 weeks. And it's way below average. Maybe Dallas Goedert's not getting the separation he needs. Tight ends are only as effective as a quarterback lets them to be. See, I disagree with that. Trying to say it's all on the quarterback always because, I love you, Jack, but you've got this stigma that you're not a Jalen Hurts guy. You're obviously going to lean that way. Tight ends still have to get off the line. They still got to get their block. They still got to get open. They got to put themselves in a position where their quarterback wants to look their way. Just say it. You can't have Dallas Goedert getting 3 catches when you're missing A.J. Brown. You just can't. Especially in an offense that's designed to utilize tight ends. Again, I might be totally off base with this. I might be. Barbara might be. But there's 1 or 2 of us out there. I think maybe Dallas Goedert just ain't it. He just might not be him. That's just the way it is. But you know who is him? David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. If you need workers' compensation lawyer, if you've been in a motor vehicle accident, affected by a personal injury or criminal law, call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm at 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com and let David R. Cherry fight for you and get you what you deserve. He's the best in the state of Pennsylvania, and he will fight for you. Again, his number is 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com and mention EOP, trending name when you do that. Again, one more time, that number, 610-565-0300. We're going to cherryinjurylaw.com. I like to say .com. We saw last season how even the announcers were joking, how Dallas Goedert was open all game and not getting the ball. All right. How much more can you give Jalen Hurts to succeed? He has arguably the best wide receiver core in football, a top 5 running back, top 5 O-line. I think any quarterback would draw. No one's complaining about the weapons. Jalen Hurts has been efficient and effective this year. He's made a couple crucial interception turnovers, yeah. But the guys are it can't all be on Jalen Hurts. If these guys are so elite, the wide receivers, the running backs, the offensive line, maybe it's the coaching, maybe it's the quarterback, maybe it's the whole team. But it can't all be Jalen Hurts' fault. It shouldn't be. I mean, I know he's the quarterback, and that's where the blame goes, but I hope you made the bet this morning, mister. Hope you made the bet on the over. Jalen Hurts has been better against the blitz, better, in the pocket. He's stuck in the pocket. I saw a highlight video a few minutes ago before the show of Jalen Hurts dropping back, avoiding pressure, came off of Lane Johnson's side, slid up, then had to slide back and slide to the left, and found Devontae Smith down the field. He didn't just take off and run. Like everyone says, that's all he does. Just saying, Jalen Hurts has actually performed very, very well this year. Take away that last interception, obviously. The last interception in both games. I still don't hate the interception, the first interception through, but that's another subject for another day. Because he hasn't had to throw 25 tutties because of the running game. I'm clearly sure. And you can't take away the tush-push touchdowns. They're still touchdowns. They're still 6 points. He had 38 touchdowns last year, running and passing. But we're only going to count the passing ones? Come on now. It's all about winning and scoring. It doesn't matter how you do it. Okay? Maybe if Dallas Goedert got open a little bit more in the goal line, he'd have a couple more touchdown catches. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's the problem. Just saying. Jalen Hurts has been a very efficient passer and shown massive signs of improvement this year. And when all said and done, 17 games are played, we might see that. The defense is much more of an issue, Jack, than Jalen Hurts' lack of 25 touchdown passes in a season. Yeah, I would be. Damn straight I would be. Damn straight. Hurts had way more than 25 touchdowns last year. All touchdowns count the same, exactly. But some don't, Anthony, because the play's, too easy. And we can only count the passing ones, Anthony. That's all we can count. Can't count the rushing ones. Can't count the tush push. It's not a real football play, supposedly. But it's still a damn effective football play. It is what it is. I think I could play quarterback better than Hurts. Bullshit, mister. I'm calling you out. We're going to do an EOP, quarterback combine, and mister's going to show that he ain't got nothing on Jalen. I want to see mister throw that football. Ain't happening. We'll do a little quarterback challenge here. Remember the old quarterback challenges back in the day? I have a feeling you wouldn't be better than Jalen there, mister. I'm going to call your bluff on that one right there. Damn straight I am. Because that's what I do. I call the bluffs, guys. One final great sponsor for the day, Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park. For 65 plus years, Dolan's Bar has been the quintessential Irish American dive bar. Look at the food in that picture. I want that burger so bad. Check them out, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, dolansbar.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check them out. They are the best. Tell PJ and his crew all about Trending in the AM and Edge of Philly Sports and how that you heard about them on this show and on this network. I even think I saw something on Facebook that PJ there, the owner there, is going to be in the next celebrity boxing match down in Philly, lacing up the gloves. So that's pretty cool there as well. But guys, don't forget about Dolan's Bar right there in Ridley Park there. My old hometown. Monday night's game was actually one of his better games, truthfully. The defense is the problem right now. When the defense improves in a few weeks, there's no excuse. And I think the defense could. I don't know if it will, but I think it could get better. You got a lot of new parts, a lot of not missing parts, a lot of new parts, and a lot of adjusting parts, learning to a new scheme. And they're just not there yet. Something's going to have to change on the defensive side of the football. Nobody's criticizing Vic Fangio, it seems like. I want to put blame on Vic Fangio for the start so far of the season. I haven't seen anybody say Vic Fangio. Freebie push touchdowns that won't distinguish him as a passer quarterback. They're freebies because the defense doesn't try to stop him, or the defense can't stop him because he's very good at it. You can't eliminate touchdowns. No matter how you score a touchdown is a touchdown. But you not wanting to count the touchdown because it's not a throwing touchdown is insane. Drives me nuts. Who would win a cage match, PJ or Dart? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there, K1. That's a question that we got to have answered. That is what we need right there. I like that. I like that. Efficient should not ingats shouldn't cost $50 million per year. Well, nobody should be paid $50 million per year, but that's another whole subject. Jordan Davis is a bust, and Nolan Smith is starting to look that way as well. Fangio is glorified Sean Desai. I agree with that 100%. His defensive scheme and game plan is horrendous. Thank you. Somebody said something negative about him. I appreciate that. I don't know if Jordan Davis is a bust. Bust is a strong word, but not better than Kyle Hamilton, who we should have had. Jordan Davis will never show up in the stat sheets. He just won't. I'm willing to put the bust next to Nolan Smith's name already over Jordan Davis's name. Much, much more on Nolan Smith than Jordan Davis, in my opinion. We all knew coming into the season the first 4 weeks was going to be rough for the defense. No, everybody didn't know that. I've been trying to say it. You've been trying to say it, Joe. But most people haven't. You can't put much blame on Vic yet. You can. I mean, you can put some. We're more concerned about Jalen Hurts' touchdown or interception than Saquon Barkley's drop or the defense not getting stops. All the defense had to do, if Saquon didn't catch that, all right, fine. All the defense had to do was make one stop. Keep players in bounds. They couldn't do it. Vic Fangio's style is not going to make him as many friends as people think in Philadelphia. I warned people about Vic Fangio, and nobody wanted to listen to me about Vic Fangio. I would definitely see wide receivers running wide open in the middle of the field. Hurts needs to get his eyes checked. He has been so efficient this year, throwing over the field, throwing over the middle of the field, throwing outside. He's stayed in the pocket longer this year. He's thrown the ball 100 times better against the blitz than ever before. I don't know if we're watching different football games here. Well, that also goes to lack of confidence in the offensive line, too, which I have believed, I have said, has been not as good as people think for a long time. That's just me. Phil warned us. We didn't listen. You better listen to me. I know I don't get them any right, but I get a few things right occasionally. Normally, I just wing it, but I get a few things right occasionally. I listen to you, Phil. I appreciate that. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Look, the whole point of the show wasn't to be negative. I don't have my thing there. The show is to try to tell you to relax. Because I do see light at the end of the tunnel. I do see things being better than they actually are perceived to be right now. I do think, as much as the defense sucks through 2 weeks, that it's this close. That a few tweaks can get them over the hump. A few rotation issues could be fixed. It could be fine. Do I expect it to be fine this week? Probably not. Again, I said 2-2 maximum after 4 games. But the start of the schedule was difficult. The trip to Brazil was difficult. And then after the bye, things settle down and get a lot easier. What a fool. You are always a fool. Defense that gets no pass rush but is afraid to blitz, even though they spend money and draft picks on the secondary. This Eagles team is in big trouble. The defense is in trouble. The offense is going to be one of the best offenses in football all year long. One of the most efficient offenses in football all year long. When it's all said and done, this is a top 5 offense in the NFL. I bet you this team sets the Eagles' all-time record for scoring. I still believe that. I do. It's going to come down to the defense. Whether they can figure something out. And no, Hassan Reddick is not the answer. Before anybody says that, Nolan Smith is not, or Hassan Reddick is not the answer. But there's got to be an answer out there. There's got to be a bad team out there willing to trade a high-end defensive end. There's got to be something out there. Would you draft a college quarterback based on tush-push buddies? Or tutties? That's beside the point. Because there's no way to know that tush-push would work on your team if you didn't have the right offensive line personnel. But I wouldn't say that he was no good because all he does is score touchdowns. Or tush-push touchdowns. You find a play that works, and you utilize the play. Do you want them to stop using a play that has a super efficient way of succeeding every time? Why would we stop utilizing that play? Not utilizing that play sounds crazy. Like Nick doubled down on a stupid play. Front office doubled down on what didn't work last year. A mirror reflection top to bottom. Yeah. All-time record for scoring going to be the Saints that will probably blow out the Eagles 40 by. The Eagles are not going to lose by 40 points, Rick. And this is why I'm trying to tell. The point of the show is Eagles Nation's overreacting after 2 games. The Eagles are still a good team. They still beat the Packers in week 1. A very good Packers team that a lot of people like. The Packers team that was able to win last week without their starting quarterback. They're not going to get blown out by 40 by the Saints. Will they win? I don't know. I haven't made a prediction yet on it. But they're not going to get blown out by 40. That's insane. No way. I'm afraid these Saints will be this year's black suit 49ers and break us. I don't know. We'll be better now that Kelsey is gone. I mean, Cam Jurgens, I've given the stats out 2-3 times, has been very, very excellent. I had very low expectations early in the season for him taking over for Jason Kelsey. He's been fantastic. I don't know if you guys saw it. Bringing up Kelsey, let's get on a side tangent for the final 10 minutes here. I also have my Skip Bayless hot take of the day coming up here shortly. Are we being overexposed to Jason Kelsey and Big Dom? Crossing Broad did an article about the fact that enough's enough when it comes to Jason Kelsey and Big Dom. And I kind of agreed with it. I'm seeing too much Jason. Jason Kelsey's on TV. He's got the podcast. He's commercials galore. Showing up at yo, enough's enough. I've seen too much. Big Dom is a security guard. And he's more famous than half the NFL players out there. He's out there doing autograph signings and stuff like that. I don't need to see him anymore. I'm kind of over the Kelsey and Big Dom media perception. I just am. Big Dom is supposed to be somebody just in the background. Kelsey, dude, do your thing, man, but I don't need to see you on my TV screen every 5 minutes. Come on, Rick. I don't know what the score is going to be. I haven't really thought too hard about it yet. But it's going to be a 5 or 6 point game. Not sure which way it's going to go just yet. I'm just not sure. No Moss Kelsey's. I agree. I agree, dude. I just don't. I'm over it. I feel like it's sacrilegious to say that. But when I read the Crossing Broad article yesterday, they might got a point there. And I thought about it a little bit more. I'm like, they definitely got a point there. Everything negative you cite reflects on Howie, yet he gets no blame. Look, I have given him blame today. I have said he's made a $51 million mistake on Bryce Huff. He has. No doubt about it. He's still an excellent GM. He still would have a job in anywhere he wanted if you got rid of him. But is he perfect? Absolutely not. Just lately, his good has outweighed his bad, in my opinion. 15 likes so far in this video. Not good enough. Not good enough, guys. Please hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. Can the Eagles score? Oh, my goodness gracious. Never change, Mitchie Poo. Never change, Mitchie Poo. How he put together another incomplete team? Yeah, he might have. He might have. He might have. On the defensive side of the ball. He might have. I mean, doubling down on cornerback at pick 1 and pick 2 instead of getting a better defensive end. Maybe that was a problem. There were some really good. Look, I love Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's a superstar in the making. But there were some pretty good, because of something, was it like 15 straight offensive picks or something like that to start the draft? There were some really talented defensive ends that could have been taken there. Now, I don't know what we would have done at cornerback if you didn't take Quinyon Mitchell. That's another whole subject and all. But we knew the pass rush was going to be an issue. Using Hassan Reddick. I don't know. Maybe something else could have been there. Never change. I know. Never change. Nobody ever wants Mitchie Poo to change. All right, so a little sidebar off of sports for a second, okay? Just for a second, I got to get off sports, okay? My Skip Payless hot take of the day, all right? You know what annoys me in life more than anything, okay? You want to know what's my biggest annoyance? Is when you're on a plane for 4 freaking hours, okay? The plane lands. First off, it doesn't get right to a terminal because you get down, you land a little early, so you got to sit in on the side part there in the airport, and the captain clearly says you cannot get up yet, and everybody's taking their seatbelts off and getting up. That's fine, whatever. But when you dock at the terminal, and the people behind you push forward and past you, like, yo, first and foremost, everybody gets off in order. Secondly, they haven't even, fully opened up the plane yet, and everybody just stands up and pushes forward. There's a plane etiquette, people. You are in no better position. You have no right to go from row 30 past row 15 before anyone else even stands up. It's annoying. It's discourteous. You're an a-hole for doing that. And when you do that, there are at least 6 or 7 people I was in row 19 yesterday on the plane. And at least 10, 12 people passed me and the people sitting behind me. You're a special kind of pain in the ass when you do that. And don't tell me you have a connecting flight that you got to catch or anything, because our plane landed 30 minutes early. So nobody was in that much of a rush yesterday. Total disrespect when you do that. There's nothing I hate more than when you're on a plane and the people behind you play that D-bag move and push forward like that. And even when a couple of them came, I kind of stood up half and stuck my ass out there. And they just all walked around me and pushed behind me. What a-holes. It's so annoying. I hate it. Kelsey, most penalties ever. He had a lot of penalties. He was a lot worse than people thought. Phil needs to enforce plane discipline. Plane etiquette. How about that's the word? Not discipline, etiquette. Oh, I was loud about it too. I looked at my wife. I looked at the people behind me that were being pushed past you. I'm like, yeah, I said it as loud as I could so that everybody doing it could hear me. And I saw one girl just kind of give me a little side-eye turn. I don't really give a shit. Don't do that. The lowest form of scum on the earth. People that do that on planes. No doubt it, in my opinion, K1. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it right there. But that's my Skip Payless hot take of the day, is that people that push past you on a plane, when it's not their turn, they should be blacklisted by the FAA. The federal, is it the FAA? Well, whoever controls that stuff. Whoever can blacklist you from planes. If you get caught doing that, you should be blacklisted and never allowed to fly again. Big Dom wears 18-karat gold chains and Cartier. That's not who Big Dom's supposed to be. Dude, when I meet people on vacation from Massachusetts, from Ireland, Scotland, and they know who Big Dom is, and they're not Eagles fans, it tells me Big Dom's being overexposed. People knew who Big Dom was. And they should have no reason to know who the chief of security for the Eagles is. That tells me he's being overexposed. Could have been a Seinfeld. That's actually a very fair point, K1. It could have been a Seinfeld episode. I should write Larry David. Tell him to do a one-off just on that. Could have been a Seinfeld episode. Or at least a segment of a Seinfeld episode. a segment where that turns into something big because George or somebody says something on the plane, and yeah, I like the thinking on that one right there for sure. But you get why I get frustrated, right? Like other people have had to experience this, right, and become annoyed by it, right? Something's I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Phil poked his booty out and they pushed him aside. Yeah, it doesn't count because he pushed me. You can't. I'm sitting there on the plane thinking I need David Archeri on this plane right now. Sue each and every one of you for jumping ahead of me. My tush just isn't very big. Hey, it's not hard to push, and it doesn't really block much space. Just saying that, just throwing that out there as well. You disrespect Phil, you got problems with exactly. I got a legion of people that got my back on these kind of things, right? Legion of you. All right, real quick, guys. Tonight, Jets play the New England Patriots in New York on Thursday Night Football. Like I said, I'm 15, 16-1. Not very good at predicting games this year so far. Let's turn it around this week. I'm taking the Jets -6, beating New England. 2 reasons. 1, home teams win more often than not on Thursday Night Football. New England is not as good as their Week 1 win was. The Jets are just going to start slowly getting better and better. Breece Hall is fantastic. The other rookie running back is really good. I got the Jets -6 tonight, winning in pretty dominating fashion. I would say somewhere in that 30-10 win for the New York Jets tonight. That's what I got on tonight's Thursday Night Football game, just so you guys know. I said Big Dom wears 18-karat gold chains and Cartier. I said it. I repeated it. Too much Big Dom. Too much Big Dom. Too much Jason Kelsey. Too much. And I know I said earlier in the season or in the offseason I wanted a Kelsey and Kelsey Manning cast style thing. But I'm already thinking maybe I don't want that. Maybe I don't need any more Kelsey in my life. I don't need any Kelsey in my life. Maybe that's what it. Maybe that's what the thing is going forward here. Anyway, guys, we're wrapping this show up here. Let's see. What do we got tomorrow? We got Eagles Saints predictions, previews, keys to the game. Every single NFL game will be predicted tomorrow on this show. We'll see if I can do better. Will the Phillies clinch their third straight playoff berth tonight when they go? Tonight, another Brewers? No, tonight's the Mets. Today's Thursday, right? Yes, it's the Mets today. And I really got to get back in the flow of things. I don't even know what's going on. Will they clinch against the Mets tonight? We'll see. These are the things on the agenda tomorrow. And we didn't get to talk about it much today. Maybe if anybody's got an opinion on the mayor of Philadelphia signing that deal or making that deal with the Sixers, it looks like the Sixers will be headed downtown. It'll still be a little bit of a process, a little bit of a project. It'll take time. We really didn't get time to get into the Sixers stadium agreement that's been made with the city. I don't know why the city's involved. I don't want tax dollars going to it, but whatever. It's another whole subject. Why not? Because that's just not what the term. All right. You're trying to trick me. Don't trick me like that, okay? But we got all that on the agenda for tomorrow and more. You never know what else will pop up today. That's what I love. That's what I miss. Random news popping up and not being able to just talk about it. So I got to get to work. Go see what my pizza shop looks like after being away for 5 days. I do got work to do. No city should ever give tax dollars. I agree. I hate when stadiums in all sports are built by taxpayer dollars. And I don't like to get political. But, and I don't live in Philadelphia, so I won't vote for the mayor of Philadelphia. But I would never vote for a politician that would give tax dollars to a stadium, to build a stadium. I just would. Stupid. Dumb. Hate it. Oh, the girl, what was that? What was that Saturday Night Live skit? When they did the girls on film or boys on film, whatever it was. And they talk about a movie and he goes, hated it. That's me when it comes to this thing. So we'll discuss that a little bit more tomorrow as well. Just never really got to the time today. We really spent a lot of time on Eagles, more than I expected today. But we're going to wrap it up right here, guys. Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports Live. Make sure you hit this like, share, subscribe, follow. Hopefully we're back on Facebook tomorrow. I still don't know what's going on with Facebook and why it's not showing up on Facebook today. The last 2 times I've done a show. We'll have to do some investigation on that later. But everybody have a great Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday day, guys. So everybody enjoy themselves. Be back tomorrow. Same bat time, 8 a.m. Same bat channel, Edge of Philly Sports. For Edge of Philly Sports, I'm Phil Stiefel. Go Birds. Ring the bell, and bubbles up to you.